Hi guys, welcome back to another victorious day. Today we're going to be doing some author reviews from authors that have come from Wattpad and have self-published themselves. So I'm very excited for this video because I've been following these authors since they first started writing chapter to chapter on Wattpad, and now I have their physical copies. So I want to share with you guys my absolute favorites to maybe my not so much favorites, and just give you my overall honest review on these authors and their books that are currently out. We're going to start from my most favorite to my least favorite, starting with author Korryn Ray. Now, her name is only on the side of her books, and then it's the name of the story, which is Vampire's Pet. Now, just look at this cover. Isn't this such a pretty cover? Especially when you've read the book, and I followed her while she was writing. Well, no, she had this book already on Wattpad. I followed her when she took out the second one, which is also such a pretty cover. So I was actively reading book 2 as the chapters came out, and this author just blew me away. Now, if you watch Twilight or read Twilight, me personally, I have not read Twilight. I've just watched it, and I was a fan, but after reading this series, sorry if I'm wrong, but I love the series way more than Twilight because Nico and Chloe's relationship and how their love progressed between them is just so beautiful and realistic. So I really enjoyed this. And just to give you a little backstory, basically the world has become like overrun by the vampires. And so humans are treated as pets and slaves. And Nico purchases Chloe, and instead of treating her like a slave or anything, he actually starts treating her like a normal person, and Chloe starts falling in love with him and him her. Of course, this causes some unforbidden and complications as humans and vampires cannot mix. So that is just a whole whirlwind that brings us to book 2, where we find out that Nico is actually a prince and is going to be taking over the throne for his parents, but he needs a bride. Now, how will that work with Chloe being a human? That's everything we find out in book 2. And I am happily awaiting book 3. The author has not started writing it, and she has not set plans on publishing it. But besides these, Nico actually has a brother, Alexander, and she has a third book, so like a separate book. So it's like, this is Nico's story, and then we have Alexander's story, and that book is called Prey. It is currently self-published out now. I just don't currently have it. I wish I did, but that book is currently out, and its sequel to that book is currently being written on Wattpad. It is called Taming A Predator. So that is currently free on Wattpad, and in the description, guys, I will always leave all these books in the order you should read them, and where you can find the author and give her some support. So yeah, she is currently active on Wattpad, and she's also writing another book. I can't exactly remember the name of that book, but I will also leave it down in the description. So yeah, these are my favorite by far. I can read these over and over again, and I just love the chemistry and the slow, like, growing romance between these two individual characters, and the conflicting things that they go through is just blew my mind. And I definitely recommend you checking out Korryn Ray's Vampire's Pets and her Love and Lost second book. Now, moving on to humans, we have Rebekah L. Thompson's Emerald Black Hawk series. Oh, Black Hawk Gem series, sorry. Book 1. And this is an MC romance book. It has action, adventure, and romance all rolled into one. So if those are all things you love, then you will love this series. Now, this author, I started following her. I believe she had book 2 out by the time I was reading her books. And they all first started off on Wattpad, and as time progressed, she started now recently self-publishing herself because of plagiarization rights and everything, and just to get her work out there. So Angel here, she is our main female character, and she is a single mom with 2 twin kids, and it's her struggles through this hardship life that she has. But then she falls in love and finds Dominic, and Dominic finds her, and I just love their chemistry, and they're just the perfect couple to kick off this entire series. But before Angel and Dominic's, there is Dominic's parents. So if you want to read a prequel to the whole series, then that will be on Kindle, and it is called At First Sight, and it's just a beautiful kickoff story to how Dominic's parents fell in love, and they had Dominic, and how the whole MC series started. So if you want to read that, then you will find it on Kindle only. So this is her old version. There's currently a newer, updated version with cleaner and edited and more better presented, because from all her books, this is the most down-polished one, just because of grammar and storyline wise. But I'm hoping now the new version is much better. I'm very excited to purchase it and read it and give you guys another review on that. But she currently has book 1, 2, 3, and 4 out from this amazing Gems Black Hawk series. Now, one of my favorites from the series is actually book 3, Ruby, because it actually throws a throwback to when Dominic was a teenager and how she falls in love with Clark, and which is Dominic's best friend. And so it's just a throwback to their teenage years, and you get to see how the club started growing and all the characters in between. So it's a nice little throwback, which then goes back to present time, where we then follow Onyx and her storyline. So this is just a pretty cool series, how they continue, and you see everybody growing. You see the twins grow from book 1. So if you like that and you like following characters, then you will definitely like Rebekah Thompson's Emerald series. Now, besides this series, she has a Cinderella spin-off tale called Not So Cinderella. And this is basically, like I said, a Cinderella spin-off. She is mistreated by her stepmother and her stepsisters, and she's just trying to make it out on top to take out her little brother from the life that they have. And along the way, she meets this nice guy, Drake, and he just helps her along the way as she fights to not be that Cinderella damsel in distress anymore, and actually be the strong girl that Athena can be. So if you like Disney and you like spin-off tales from Disney, then you will like this Not So Cinderella. Alright, and now we're going to continue with Megan Fall. Now, she is our last author on our list here. Megan Fall also has an MC series, and it's called the Stone Knights MC series. Let me give you a close-up of this beautiful cover with this beautiful landscape. Now, Allie and Jackson's story is very beautiful, as they were a married couple, and sadly they got ripped apart from each other. And Jackson literally thought that he lost Allie forever, but then he ends up finding her again, but just to find out that she has no memory of him whatsoever. So it is just a story about them finding each other again, and they kick off the MC series. There is misspelling and grammar issues in most of her books, but if you can overlook that, then her storyline and the way she proceeds her characters is pretty amazing and very interesting to follow. It is such a nice, airy, flowy book to just read the whole series, and you get to follow these characters throughout their journeys and falling in love. Now, this series is also a Love at First Sight series. So if you do not like instant love series, then sorry, Megan Fall's not for you. But if you do love instant love series where it doesn't completely make sense why the characters fell in love, but that they do fall in love, then you will absolutely love Megan Fall's series. Now, this series is longer than our previous one I was talking about. This has all the way, I can pull it out. Oh, that's the wrong one. This has all the way to book 9, which is the last one, Defending Zoe. Now, this author is still on Wattpad, but she hasn't been as active, sadly. So, Megan Fall, if you're watching this, please come back and let us know an update on what you're going to take out next, because I am actively awaiting book 10. So, please take that up. My favorite from the Stone Knights series is Sheltering Macy. I just love when the president of the club falls in love finally. So that is in book 8. Now, these can all be read as a standalone, but they make a lot more sense and are more enjoyable when you read them as a series. So like I've always said, in the description, you'll find the order. But I do love, just like in Rebekah Thompson's books, Megan Fall also has the numbers of which book goes in which order. So that is pretty good. Now back to our supernatural. Megan Fall does have a werewolf series called The Enforcers. Now, she only currently has book 1. When it was on Wattpad, she had book 2, but unfortunately plagiarism and other stuff, so she hasn't taken out book 2, but she did promise to self-publish it, so I am actively awaiting that. Now, this isn't your typical werewolf book. I felt it a little more humanized than werewolfish, but it is a werewolf series, so just keep that in mind. Next, on our otherworldly books, we have Elemental Prince. Now, I don't prefer this style of cover like her other books, but Elemental Prince is a very cool series that is otherworldly, where Emmeline, she is the princess of this world, and he is the prince, but Emmeline disappears for like 20 or so years, and he goes off and finds her to bring her back to fulfill her rightful rights as the princess of the kingdom. So they just go through trials and tribulations, but this is a pretty lengthy, neat series about them falling in love together and discovering their rights as they grow old. She does have another MC series. I don't currently have it. It's called Resisting Diesel, and there's only book 1 of that out currently. But yeah, her longest and my favorite series would be the Stone Knight series. But like I said, be forewarned that there is grammar and spelling mistakes in this series. Well, and that's about all I have for you guys. My favorite series is still Vampire's Pet. That is number 1. Emerald comes second, and then our Stone Knights come third. But like I said, these are all good books. All self-published books have their little mistakes here and there. But if you can get past that, then these authors are definitely worth a try. But yeah, guys, that is all for today. I will see you guys next week. I hope you have a victorious day. Bye.